Hello class, this is Ms. Martins. Today's objective is students will be able to use Table I to distinguish between an endo and exothermic reaction based on the value of the heat of a reaction. So the heat of a reaction, or delta H, is the difference between the energy of products and reactants. To calculate the heat energy, which is known as the delta H, absorbed or released during the formation of products, will always be the heat of the products subtracted by the heat of the reactants, and your answer will be in joules, and it can either be negative or positive. Heat of reaction, when energy, heat, is being absorbed, the heat of reaction, delta H, will be positive, which is an endothermic reaction. When energy, heat, is being released, the heat of reaction, delta H, will be negative, which represents an exothermic reaction. So endothermic reactions are chemical reactions that absorb heat, prefix endo, come in, enter, absorbing the heat. Exothermic reactions are chemical reactions that release heat. To leave, exo means to leave, to exit, the same prefix as exit. So think, would an ice cube absorb or release heat in order to become a liquid? So an ice cube is a solid and it's melting to become a liquid. That means it needs to absorb heat in order to become the liquid, in order to melt. So the particle diagram of a solid to a liquid, solid particle diagrams are tightly packed, whereas liquids are moving around each other. Based on the particle diagram, are the bonds being broken or formed to go from a solid to a liquid? And we can see that the bonds are being broken because the particles have separated. So this is a particle diagram of the liquid turning into a solid. Are the bonds breaking or forming? Because the particles are becoming closer together, the bonds are forming. So we're going to answer this question together. Feel free to pause the video and answer it on your own before moving on. Which statement best describes a chemical reaction in which energy is absorbed? So we know energy being absorbed is going to be an endothermic reaction, so we could take away 1 and 2. And then we mentioned that when energy is being absorbed, when we're going from a solid to a liquid, bonds are being broken. So the answer is going to be 4. Endothermic reactions, the delta H is going to be positive, whereas exothermic reactions, the delta H will be negative. In endothermic reactions, the energy is going to be absorbed. In exothermic reactions, the energy is going to be released. Bonds are broken for endothermic reactions, remember, going from a solid to a liquid, whereas bonds are formed going from, in an exothermic reaction, going from a liquid to a solid. So chemical reactions, if energy is present in the reactant side, that means that energy / heat was absorbed. The delta H is going to be positive kilojoules or joules. If energy is present in the products, that means that energy was released. This is delta H is going to be negative kilojoules or joules. So question number 5. Which statement best describes a chemical reaction in which energy is released? So we know when energy is released, that's an exothermic reaction. So we're going to remove answer choice 2 and answer choice 4. And we know for an exothermic reaction, the delta H is going to be negative. That leaves our answer choice to be 1. Think and jot. Make sure you pause this video, jot your answer down, and then play it again. A student goes outside and feels cold. What happens to the student's energy in order for him to feel this way? Is it an endothermic or exothermic reaction? So if someone's feeling cold, that means the heat is being removed from their body. If someone is feeling hot, you're absorbing the heat. So that is going to be an exothermic reaction if someone's feeling cold because the heat is released from their body. Take a moment, pause the video, answer this question, and then come back. Where is energy heat in the chemical reaction above? We can see that joules is in the product side, so the energy / heat is going to be in the products. Since energy is in the products, is it being absorbed or released? Energy is in the products, that means it's going to be released. Which phrase best describes the reaction above? It's going to be exothermic because energy is being released, and with exothermic reactions, we know that our delta H is going to be negative, so therefore our answer is 4. So we're going to go through table I, and table I is going to help us to determine the delta H for the listed reactions. So table I gives us the delta H of multiple reactions in kilojoules, and these are the reactions here. The delta H values are based on molar quantities represented in the equations. A minus sign indicates an exothermic reaction. So table I is going to give us information on whether a chemical reaction is either endothermic or exothermic based on the sign of the delta H. Question 9. According to table I, which salt releases energy as it dissolves? Release means exothermic, so we're looking for which salt gives us a delta H of a negative value. And the first answer choice, KNO3, if we look through the list, KNO3, that is a positive value, so that is not going to be our answer. We have LIBR. LIBR is here. Our value is negative, so that should be our answer, but we're going to keep going. We have NH4NO3. That's a positive value. That is not our answer. And NaCl is also a positive value, so we know our answer is LIBR because that was the negative value that we were looking for. So your exit ticket for today is to complete the Google form titled Table I Practice. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me. I'm always here. Thank you for watching this lesson. Be safe and enjoy your day.